right, well, I will call us to order. Pledge, Bill, you can lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. I have Ted to call all our motions to us tonight, but I think we'll get through it.
Zach, could you just ask Neil if anybody's in the room with him?
Oh, Neil.
Nobody in the room with nobody.
Nobody in the room, and you're unable to participate in person this evening?
That's correct.
All right. Thank you. Minutes.
Mr. Chair, I move that we accept the minutes of the March 27th non-public meeting minutes.
And I will second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 And got another set.
I
I make,
And what are you gonna do?
You weren't here, Bill, for the regular meeting anyways. You're here for the non-public only.
Oh, okay, 6:27. All right, gotcha.
yeah, so I'll make a motion to accept the meeting minutes from March 27th.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed?
I abstain.
Bill abstains. Okay. The Select Board will meet on the following dates at 5 p.m. Monday, April 24th, 2023. Bill, I will not be here that evening, so you will be acting as chair.
Okay.
And then Monday, May 8th and 22nd. All meetings will be held in the upstairs of Town Hall and held by Zoom. Zoom information can be found on the town's website at plymouth-nh.org. Citizens wishing to be listed on the Select Board's agenda should notify Town Hall before noon the Thursday before the scheduled meeting. I don't have any particular comments, so we'll go. Anne, are you gonna represent Scott's report this
I
evening?
just have a brief update from Scott.
Okay.
So an update on the Town of Plymouth Downtown Drainage Project. Contract award and pre-construction meeting will be held on April 20th at 10 a.m. here at Town Hall. That'll be with the contractor N. Granesi and Sons, HEB Engineering, Plymouth Village Water and Sewer, Wright Pierce will be present. Not a public meeting, just to let you know that meeting is being held. There will be a public hearing on April 24th at 5:15 at the Selectmen's meeting to give an update regarding the start date, the starting location, the signage, and other questions that participants may have. The recycling center, construction on the rear wall of the recycling center started on April 1st. The Housing Opportunity Program community meeting was held on April 6th. There was about 48 community members present. Consisted of an overview of the grant and program project scope, past and current planning efforts, housing needs, and recent strategies. The consultant, Bear Group, did a great job in presenting. The next phase was breakout groups. There was 5 questions asked. The group spent approximately 45 minutes discussing those questions. The common theme that came from the groups were as follows: housing, a variety, density, lot size, cluster development, and seniors; child care facilities, concerns with regards to wage in the Plymouth area; infrastructure, roads, sidewalks, and Plymouth Village water and sewer lines; taxes, revenues; employment opportunities for PSU students after graduation; and building restrictions. The notes will be processed by the consultant and will be available in report form later this month. And the next community meeting will be held on June 6th. And they're right now coming up with a location and a time. But it may be at the school, same time, 5:15. Okay?
Did you say there were 48 people there?
Yeah, it's a
48
good room.
community members.
That's all.
Yeah, I
Really
logged
good
in,
participation.
so I don't know after that, but yeah.
So, good group. I know the college participated as well. We had a class that came over. I know that you were sick, Zach,
Yeah.
that night. But they would like members of the board to attend the next meeting if at all possible. Again, that's
Is that
on
online?
June 6th.
The
It was.
recording?
I
The
was
recording
able
is-
to do it online.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet, but I saw it was on PBTV.
Unfortunately, a lot of it's the breakout session, so you won't
You
hear.
don't hear any of that
Yeah.
part.
Yeah, there was a kid from the high school. I couldn't hear it, but he had done some recent studies, and the audience was really receptive to the information and the ideas he heard. Unfortunately, you couldn't hear it online.
Can I speak to that?
Yeah, please.
Marianne, for that, we did an edit on the live stream
Oh,
and bumped
okay.
the audio up. So I have now hidden the live YouTube feed because it
Okay.
has all of that breakout session, but that is cut out and you hear the beginning, the normal stuff, and then all the question and answers at the end. So
Okay.
all of that is online on our PBTV YouTube channel.
You don't happen to know if you actually hear what the high school students.
You should be able to
Okay.
with me in post editing, bumping up the audio. So you should be able to.
Take a look.
Yes.
Great.
Map on tiny homes.
Oh, thank you.
Homes, tiny homes, and map associated with it.
Interesting.
Excellent. Yeah.
And that was a high school student?
Yeah. High school
Freshman.
student.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm.
Very interesting. Anything else from Scott's report?
Nothing else for us. Nope.
Any questions for Anne to attempt to answer?
Nope.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Ann. All right, we have some appointments. First up is we have a letter from Tom McLaughlin. Dear Select Board members, due to being elected to Plymouth Water and Sewer Commission, I have a conflict in the first Tuesday of the month meetings, so I'd ask that I not be appointed a full-time member again. This will let a younger member float up. However, I would also ask to be appointed as an alternate on ZBA so that I can serve as a backup and keep the member roster adequate. This would also give me good contact with Joseph, and I can serve to keep the town apprised in conjunction with Jason and other staff at Water and Sewer. Thank you for your consideration, Tom McLaughlin.
So when does the
I move-
ZBA meet?
I move that we appoint Tom McLaughlin as an alternate.
A second.
Discussion. When does the ZBA meet? Do
I
you know?
believe it's the fourth Tuesday of the month.
So
It
we will have a conflict.
It only dep-
Oh,
They only meet if they have to.
Okay.
Usually, when they have a case before them. But
gotcha. Yeah, and I think actually, now you said that, I think the water and sewer meets the first Tuesday, so no conflict. Right,
Yeah.
Great.
All right, so this is an appointment to alternate, and all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, next up, we have a letter from the, or I guess to the Lakes Region Planning Commission on our behalf to reappoint Joe Fagnan as the representative for Plymouth on the Transportation Advisory Committee of the LRPC. It's a 2-year term appointment.
I
I
move
make
it. Go for it.
I make a motion, we reappoint Joe Fagnet as a representative for Plymouth on the Transportation Advisory Committee of the LRPC. I'm sorry.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next up, we have a letter from Mike Mosley. Dear Conservation Commission and Office of the Select Board, this letter is to request appointment to serve on the Plymouth Conservation Commission as an alternate member. As a resident of Plymouth, I am invested in the responsible management of our natural resources and the development of recreation opportunities for our residents. By serving on the Conservation Commission, I can help the town meet its conservation goals. My background in trail management and outdoor recreation has given me a lot of relevant experience that will make me an asset to this group. I ask you to review this request letter and vote on my appointment. Sincerely, Mike Mosley.
I move that we appoint Mike Mosley to the Conservation Commission
I'll second.
And that's as an alternate.
as an alternate.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And another reappointment. This is a letter from Phil Lemrow to the members of the Select Board of Plymouth. I'm writing to express my interest in appointment to the Plymouth Planning Board. I have served in this capacity since my initial appointment to the board, January 13th, 2020. It's been my pleasure to serve the citizens of the town of Plymouth in this capacity and would be interested to continue. I thank you for your consideration of this matter and for your service to the town as well.
I move that we appoint Phil Lamoro as a member of the planning board.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Phil's,
Oh, no, please.
Phil's been a valued member of the board.
True.
Agreed, and served on as the chair of that capital improvement planning committee too, which was
Right.
highly appreciated. So, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And we have one more.
Two.
We have two more. A letter from Malik Hammond that says, to the members of the Plymouth Select Board, I write to you today to ask for my appointment as an alternate member of the Zoning Board of Adjustment to be transferred or transitioned into a permanent member appointment. We've recently lost Tom on the Zoning Board, which we just voted on, and are in need of a replacement. In addition, I have attended all meetings since being appointed as an alternate and have been brought in as a stand-in role at each. I appreciate your consideration and am available to answer any questions you need. Thank you for your time, Malik Hammond.
I move that we appoint Malik Hammond to a full member of the zoning board.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, now the last one, which is from Joan Turley. Dear Office of the Select Board, this letter is to request renewal of my appointment to serve on the Plymouth Conservation Commission as a full/alternate member. Not sure what that means. The Conservation Commission has discussed this and recommends my reappointment. So is she full or
Well, that's, you've been it up as
full.
a member.
Should
Yeah.
be full.
should it be full?
Yeah. I move that we appoint Joan Turley to the planning board.
I'll second.
Conservation Commission.
Conservation.
Excuse me, Conservation Commission.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in, oh, yes.
Yeah. She is willing to serve as co-chair of the Conservation Commission.
Oh, yes, that's great. We had that conversation. Actually, did they get an answer to that question?
We just gave them the answer that we had, that it was really up to the Conservation
They were going
Commission.
to check their bylaws,
And they were
right?
gonna, I have not heard
Yeah.
back from her since then.
I believe it was unanimous.
Anyway, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Those are all handled.
Incoming.
Close.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you, sir.
And that takes us to a purchase order and
So in front of you, you have a purchase order for the purchase of the police cruiser that was approved at the recent town meeting. Again, this is for the 23-24 year. It's from Central Chrysler of Raham, I believe, out of Mass. It is the New Hampshire State bidding company that the state is using. The reason why we're putting that in now is because there's only a limited window that you can actually order the cruisers for next year, and it takes upwards of 12 to 16 weeks to get the vehicle. So we're ordering it now in hopes that by the end of August, we'll have the vehicle. $36,097.
I move that we expend $36,097 for a police cruiser from Central Chrysler of Raynham.
I'll second.
Now, this is just the cruiser. Once we get it, does it then have to get all of the like lights and radios? And
Everything
all-
will be swapped out of the vehicle that it's replacing.
Oh, okay, so
it's
we
just
don't need a whole new package for it.
No. Nope. If you look at on the back, the quote, it does include very minimal items such as the deactivation of the rear doors and windows, fleet alight key, and spotlights, and a spot lamp. That's the only thing that's really included with it, so.
Gotcha.
It's got cruiser specs though, hasn't it?
Yes. Yep. 8-speed automatic transmission.
8-speed.
8-speed. And it's a Dodge Charger.
426 Hemi?
24 V6.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll go.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
We have a motion?
Just moved
I
and
have a motion.
Motion seconded. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
All right.
How did that price compare to what we were expecting? Is it
You're
right?
going to ask me that? I don't remember. I'm sorry.
I mean,
I think it's really reasonable.
I think so too. It feels like it's
I
right
think it
in
was like
the-
50,000 in the budget.
I think
but-
I think that's what we said too.
So there may be other items that they have to add that they can't just swap out, but they'll bring that back to you.
Right.
If it's,
Yeah, hopefully we get it everything done at that
yeah,
point. And then
that's pretty reasonable price.
save some money, then that's even better. All right, new business.
I'm going to move up next to you if you don't mind. I've got a package and a half here.
Would be lovely. Looks like you've got more than enough paperwork.
So what I have in front of you here, Neil, I'm sorry, I don't mean to put my back to you.
That's fine.
Okay. So we have the $1.8 million bond with Meredith Woodsville Guarantee Savings Bank. Prior to the board signing their life away tonight, there are several votes that I need the board to take. And I believe it would be okay if Zach read 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8 different items in one motion. Okay,
Yep.
so they start where it says voted, Zach?
Yes. Do we need an individual vote for each, or do you think we can
I
read
think
this
one
entire
would-
thing and then just vote once?
I think if you started at the voted and just did it all at once, I think we'll be fine.
Yes, I'm just confirming the top part of this. Yep. All right, so we're going to sign that we're going to vote on and then sign that we voted to authorize the issuance of a $1,800,000 general obligation bond of the issuer, which were heretofore authorized by the issuer's voters on March 15th, 2023. Such bonds to be dated April 12th, 2023. The second one is voted to sell said bonds to the purchaser on such terms and conditions as are set forth in Exhibit A, attached heretofore and made a part heretofore. Because if you're like me, you were curious what's Exhibit A say. Exhibit A is a description of terms and purchaser of bonds. There's only one note here. The purchaser is listed as Woodsville Guarantee Savings Bank, denomination $1,800,000, interest rate 4.75%, and premium paid by purchaser, if any, not applicable. So that's all of Exhibit A. Voted to issue the bonds in substantially the form set forth in Exhibit B, attached heretofore, and made a part hereof. Exhibit B is
The actual payment amount.
elsewhere.
Each month.
And that's probably,
year, I'm
that's
sorry.
going to be each year, and that's the thing we talked about last time.
180,000 plus interest on an annual basis over 10 years.
180, that,
So it's 1.8 million
Yep.
plus interest.
Plus interest.
and the interest is is spread out over that whole period?
It starts
it's
with
front-loaded?
It's front
So the
loaded.
first payment's higher, and then those payments get lower over the 10 years.
Correct.
So the first year's payment's slightly above the amount
That we had budgeted.
that we had budgeted, but not by so much, and then after that, we're dropped off. Okay, I'm recalling that correctly. Voted that the bonds shall be general obligations of the issuer. Voted to authorize the execution of the bonds by at least a majority of the governing board and the treasurer, or the printing of facsimiles of such signatures on the bonds, and to affix the issuer's seal. Voted to authorize the treasurer to deliver the bonds to the purchaser against payment therefore. And voted to authorize at least a majority of the governing boards and the treasurer to execute and deliver a signature and no litigation certificate with receipt and a tax certificate. And 2, the issuer's treasurer, chair, and the governing board, finance director, or town manager to execute and deliver the IRS Form 8038-G, all in substantially the form presented to the undersigned, and such other documents as may be necessary or appropriate to accomplish the sale and delivery of the bonds in accordance with the foregoing. And voted to authorize the issuer to serve as its own paying agent for the bonds.
So moved.
I'll second.
Sure you don't want to reread it?
Yeah, let me have that, please.
Any discussion? This all seems like exactly what we discussed previously. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Zach, I'm just going to keep handing to you if you can pass the originals on.
Hey, this is the same thing again.
Thank you, miss.
So I'm going to keep talking if that's all
Yeah,
right. The
yeah.
Form 8038-G is the information tax return for tax exempt. I've already signed that, because I do your 941s. The next one is a
So you
signature.
don't need a signature from us on that
I
one.
don't need that one, no. The next one I have is signature and non-litigation certificate with receipt, which you've already talked about, I believe, in there, and there's 3 places to sign there. The next item is the actual tax certificate, and it's several pages long, at least 15 pages long. And there's 3 there. Need to put you last, but he keeps throwing them that way.
Yeah, I know. Well, he was throwing them at me earlier, so.
Good thing I'm in the middle, huh?
Nicer.
How impolite.
I could really cause some chaos and send some of them left and some of them right.
No, don't do that.
Then we'd all be confused.
So once these are all approved, tomorrow, the other item that I have, is a general obligation, the bond itself. All of these items will go back to the attorney and also to the bank tomorrow, and also to EDA, so that we will not lose our 2.7 million bond that we have. This is good, this is quick.
These all are identical copies of the
They
same
are.
thing.
Oh, you're signing one at a time.
Just, it gives everybody a little something to do.
Right. It's the flow.
You're good, Ann.
I just gotta make sure I
All of them?
have, yeah.
Sorry, dear.
Sorry you missed out on all this fun, Neil.
Yep.
Well, I was gonna say, if you make a paper airplane out of one of them, I'll just sign it.
I think that's what Bill was doing earlier, actually.
I think I have all the originals, yes.
You want these two, Ann, or?
Yep, I'll take those as well. And that's a purchase order, that's the original?
Yep, I haven't signed this one yet.
Okay.
I will. Just one there, right? All right, that's it for the bond. We're good to go.
Yes. I'm just gonna make sure we got all the signatures that we needed and,
Thanks, Ann. You made that very not painful.
Yes.
oh, I'll come grab it.
Thanks, Ann. I was gonna throw it.
I know you
Oh, that's that paper airplane thing.
On that note, do you have anything in the signature file?
I do have several in the signature file. None of these need vote on. So the first one is the Forest Protection Bureau Federal Excess Property Cooperative Agreement. This is for the 1952 forestry trailer that the town of Plymouth has in their possession from the state. But every year, I guess we have to sign these agreements. So there's that agreement.
You care.
The next item that we have is a veterans tax credit denial. The individual purchased the property on April 3rd and submitted the application for a veterans tax credit that day. However, they have to have
You only need two on
applied
this
by April 1st. So they missed it by just a few days.
Oh,
She only needs
Might
two
we
on that.
hear about this one?
Oh.
Or?
You might,
we're good.
but there's a statute that we follow.
Yep.
So I have 1, 2, 3, 3 additional veterans tax credits. These are all approvals. Sorry, Bill.
No, you're not.
Yeah, okay.
Ouch.
I'm not.
So what's the waiting time for the veterans credit? How long before do you have to?
As long as you own the property on April 1st, you can apply.
For the year,
Yeah, there are some criteria that you have to follow. You have to live in the state.
right?
It has to be your primary home. So you can't, have a second home, say, in Holderness and you apply there as well.
Right.
It has to be your
Right.
primary residence. And Carol does a great job of
Digging.
digging. Yes, she does. So the next 4 items are yield taxes. The first one is in the amount of $135.85 for timber cut.
Were these in our file and just never got around to signing them or something? Or?
No, they would have been in your file, but we don't ask you to stop in anymore
Right.
because most of it can be done by
Scott.
Scott. So
Yeah, so we've moved to just doing the signature
Once every other
file
week, yeah.
here, and it's a little less round robin.
this is a large timber cut in which we are assessing them a tax of $33,628.98.
How large is large?
That's a large. Well, if you look at the one that Zach has when it comes your way, that's only $135.
Right.
How many acres was that, Bill? If you keep going,
What, even farther?
It's okay, I was just curious.
it'll say it on the,
I was curious.
right in there.
Okay.
Is that the intent or is that the actual cut?
The exact acreage is 220 acres.
How many?
220.
And this one's 3.
Yeah. I have another one here, timber cut for $5,014.84. And the last one is for $1,218.98.
So is it, actually maybe Neil, is it a good time to cut wood?
Well, the lumber's going back down again,
Oh, well,
so it was out of sight for a while there.
so I guess I have to sit on it for a while longer.
All we need is a few more tornadoes and hurricanes.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Careful what you say while you're
Yeah,
standing in
really.
Florida.
Yeah,
I know.
hold on to your hat.
Just waiting to see if we got a passing grade.
I'm sure you did.
What the town really needs is to see the timber harvesters cutting more saw logs and less pulp chips. The
Well,
town doesn't get much of a tax out of pulp chips.
I think
would, the ones that we signed, I didn't look, but the ones that we signed are, do you think that predominantly pulp chips or?
not all of these were. I just was looking at that.
If you
So
look
the
at the
fir-
actual report of cut,
Yeah, the first one is, but the second one is a lot of board feet.
Okay, yeah.
No, sorry.
We were close.
Damn it. Yeah, I don't think he threw it my way.
It's the only explanation.
Next time I'll tell you, way to it.
Poke an eye out.
Is that it for the signature file, Ann?
yes.
All right. On to committee reports.
No meeting till tomorrow.
Oh, boy.
Water and
meeting-
sewer.
Okay. Planning board, Neil. We got
Yeah,
the update about the HOP meeting.
okay, let's see. Planning board, March 9th, was that prior to the last meeting?
Yeah, that would have
That
been,
would
that's
be-
an old one.
Okay, I don't have that one. Well, we're not meeting again until April 20th.
Okay.
And Conservation Commission met March 21st.
Yeah, why don't you give us that update?
Neil, will you be back for the April
20th.
20th, the 20th meeting?
Yes,
Okay,
the 20th.
so Zach, you won't have to go to
The
that.
Conservation Commission met March 21. We voted to have co-chairman. Our land purchase fund is $13,260. The general fund is $13,495.83. And the maintenance fund is $6,500. And the Walter Newton project fund is negative $219. We had a load of lumber stolen from the parking lot. And we're getting ready to do a project. And the conservation fund has $7.14 in it. So our annual approved fund is $6,086.24. Lisa Donor is giving up the gavel due to personal and professional commitments. And Joan Turley and Melissa Eulery have agreed to serve as co-chairs, which is, will divide up some of the burden, because the Conservation Commission is getting busier all the time. And we're working on a natural resource inventory update. And the intent is to do as much of it ourselves as possible. And we'll have to have some professional help. I think we had something like $15,000 set aside for that. And it's very important to have that natural resource inventory up to date. And we nominated Mike Mosley to be an alternate, and we confirmed him tonight. We discussed some of the planning board applications, such as Thompson Farm Road, Texas Hill Road, and Tenny Mountain Ski Lodge, and the Tenny Mountain Road. And I was informed by Gardner Hall that he has a deeded right-of-way from Route 3A up Tenny Mountain Road, which goes up over Melvin Road, and there's a section that hasn't been maintained, and I advised him to meet with Scott Wheaton to discuss that and to bring his documents. And we discussed Walter Newton trails and maintenance, and L-chip, and the bike trails, and the fact that we need to hire a consultant. And we're putting out a request for proposals for ARM funds because we need a digital format. And we want to provide support for planning board decisions. We have a whole list of things. I don't want to go down through the whole list, but basically the Conservation Commission is very active, and they want to work with the Energy Commission and the Planning Board. I don't think we could ever have a meeting with all three, but we could probably have meetings, between the Conservation Commission and the Energy Commission and the Conservation Commission and the Planning Board. That's it.
So, could I ask a question, Neil, regarding the, the right-of-way on Melvin Road, or going from Tenny Mountain Road to Melvin?
Right.
What does that allow somebody to do?
Well, apparently, long ago, it was there was a deeded right-of-way that I don't know whether it came with the land when Sam Hall and John French bought it, which was back in the mid-50s, something like 1957 or 58, and they have a right-of-way to go up Melvin Road, which is a town road, and then from there to go straight up to where the ski lodge is. And Gardner still owns 400 acres up there on the north side of the ski area, and next to that land that the town owns. And there are people who bought house lots from Sam Hall and John French who have a right to use that right away. But the big problem is nobody's maintaining it.
Yeah. So
The ski area doesn't own it,
Right.
so they're probably not going to be interested in maintaining it. I don't know what they're going to work out. Yeah, I really, I couldn't go there. But the ski area has indicated that they intend to replace that blown out culvert pipe that goes across from Tenny Mountain Road to where the Tenny Mountain entrance is.
that's a big production. That's a lot of money. So,
It's a bridge. It's going to cost a lot.
are they gonna put a bridge in, or another big culvert?
Well, when I was working up there, I was there when they put in about a 6-foot squash pipe, but I don't think it was stabilized properly, and I guess the floodwaters came down, it was Irene, I think, and overtopped this pipe and took the whole thing right out.
I remember seeing it the next day there. But,
Yeah, it was a big hole.
yep.
But, you know, things like that can be very dangerous. It could kill somebody downstream. So that, you know, they're gonna have to have a properly designed stream crossing that's acceptable by the Wetlands Board. And it'll, you know, have to have wings on it. Not the kind that fly either. Kind that keep the stream in its course.
Thanks for pointing that out. I was hoping it would take off during storms or something like that and come back.
Yeah. Well, I guess the water can get pretty high at times.
Any questions for Neil on Conservation Commission? All right, no campus community council. Ted did not give me school board updates. I'm trying to think, I did not go to either of those meetings. Capital improvement hasn't met. LRPC, this should, well, I guess it
Was
is.
there another, there was another appointment, right? Who's
Oh,
the,
yeah.
from the planning board, right? Oh,
Yes.
no, John
Yeah,
Chris.
John.
Yeah. And that there's also an executive committee meeting coming up on Wednesday. And, well, actually, they just sent out an email. They have their annual meeting. It's gonna be at the Mills Falls, at Church Landing.
Yeah, June 26th, which coincides
4:30.
with same night as our board meeting,
Oh, which board meeting?
this board meeting.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah. It's a Monday night.
It's too bad I gotta go, you know? Yeah, so anyway, we'll see about that one. And the focus is on renewable energy, so that might be kind of interesting. And
I
there's.
mean, it might be interesting enough that it's worth you missing this
Right.
board meeting to be at that annual meeting.
Yeah,
there's five of us, so.
Way ahead of you, yep. So, yeah, we'll see. It depends upon the gifts that they give out, I guess, but. Also, there's kind of like a difference of opinion that, the last executive committee meeting I went to, the TAC items were voted on. In fact, I voted on them, but I feel that they should be reconsidered because there were 3 TAC items that were brought up. One was for Meredith, Plymouth, and Laconia, and the Plymouth one was number 2. And DOT generally funds the first, 2 items. And the budget, it was engineered both by our engineer and DOT, and the cost of well, it's like Toby Road, putting sidewalk, straightening out an issue with going, across the hill to the town gardens, and also creating a sidewalk, going up towards Fairgrounds Road. And there was like 2 phases, and we were basically interested in phase 1, and that's what was cost out for approximately 4.2 million or something. So that was the number 2. And when I went to the executive committee meeting, well, first of all, they hadn't had a TAC meeting for some time, and they had like an interim, chair. Tink Taylor, it probably took him about a year and a half or maybe 2 years to get off of TAC because they never have a quorum. Well, they were able to put an interim person in there who's now leaving. But the items that were presented to the executive committee were, number 1, I think, was Meredith. Number 2 was Plymouth, but because if they added on the phase 2, then it would be 7 million. And we didn't want to pursue phase 2, so in any event, they moved us to the 3rd place and promoted Laconia's project. And, now we're going to have to wait another 10 years to. So I think the whole thing was kind of ludicrous, and I'm going, and in any event, I brought it to both Joseph's attention and Scott's attention. Scott had been trying to reach out to the executive director. I don't believe he got an answer back. But I'm going to bring it up and say, seek that we kind of reconsider consideration of our project to be number 2, because these don't come around very, very often. and it just kind of was a little fishy, so that's what I'm gonna be doing on Wednesday.
All right, well, keep us
Excellent.
posted. I'm hoping you can lobby well for us there. Anything else from LRPC?
Nope.
Ted gave me a Parks and Rec update. It says they had a meeting, their March meeting. The Gunstock Night skiing offering for February vacation was a huge hit, with over 50 participants ranging in ages from 4 to 60. Pretty cool. A reminder that the 43rd Annual Fishing Derby will be on April 22nd. So it's coming up. With the weather this week, it actually looks like we could fish. They're looking at putting a van in the 24-25 budget with a play contribution. I'm curious, is that fully funded? I don't know. That's an interesting one. Summer concerts are all booked. They're very excited about the series this year, reaching out to the public to let them know that due to the South Main project, the location might fluctuate between the Common and the Riverfront Amphitheater, depending on what's going on in that Main Street area. The department is rebranding, and this will be done pro bono thanks to CG Studios. They're very excited to have a look that's recognizable in the community and easy for families to find and know about. The Parent Camper Handbook was given a facelift. The Memorial Day Parade and Ceremony is scheduled for Monday, May 29th, with lineup taking place at the Armory at 10 a.m. and the parade kicking off at 10:30 to Main Street up to Town Hall, where the ceremony will take place once all parade participants have arrived. They're in search of speakers to give remarks at the ceremony. Please contact Kelsey if you are interested. I don't know if Kelsey reached out to you, but I'm not.
I don't think she did, but
Somebody did?
I was informed that
Yeah,
I'll be marching.
You'll be out of the country on May 29th, so
Is this Greece or?
yeah, I'll be in Greece.
Nice.
So that's recreation. Any questions?
Can I make a motion?
Uh-oh.
I want to make a motion that the town of Plymouth celebrate Earth Day on April 22nd. Make it a special Earth Day celebration.
I mean, we can recognize it. I don't know if.
Yeah, recognize it, yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying, 'cause I don't know if Parks and Rec will be able to pull together any programming around
No, they don't
it.
have to do anything.
I like the idea of recognizing it.
Yeah,
I'll second that.
thank you.
Any discussion? It seems like we can put something on the website or something like that to
Yeah.
call it out.
Remind people, Earth Day's April 22nd.
I like it. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? It's a good surprise motion, Neil. I like it. Parking committee?
Still waiting for the quote from Ryan Frost. Kind of had to chase him down a bit. Although we're still kind of in a holding pattern anyway until we hear from after the, April 24th meeting, going through the South Main Street project. And are they going to use that area for parking? I mean, we'll still need lighting down there anyway, but then we get to, what budget does it come out of? Part of that project or not?
Yeah. When does that group meet again?
April 24th really is when Scott and the powers that be, after their discussion about the timing for South Main Street, what it entails, the details of what it entails.
Yep. Energy Commission?
I'm not aware of anything new.
Just an update on their, the bond.
Yeah.
We're waiting for CDFA to basically run through the hoops that they need to there, and then they'll get back to us if they need anything more. So it'll be another couple weeks before we hear anything, just to let the board know that.
I mean, they confirmed with a letter as far as like the rate and stuff. Are they still going with a 3-point?
They confirm with an email that they're trying to get it to the 3%.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, yep. So,
Excellent.
yep. Hopefully it'll remain there because we had to have our application in by April 1st, and we did.
Okay.
So,
It's too bad we could add $1.8 million onto that, or?
Rule it all in.
Advisory Budget Committee has not met. Economic Development Committee,
Still waiting. I'm not sure where Scott is as far as forming it with PSU. I am curious. I was going to ask him, do we have to worry about the end of semester now happening? You know, does that mean we don't do anything for the summer?
yeah, how does that work?
Yeah,
Interesting.
right. So I don't know those answers.
Well, I'll have to ask him about that next time.
Yep.
PSU negotiations, that's still on kind of hold, right?
We'll discuss that again at the first meeting in May, when everyone is back.
Discuss in May. Chamber of Commerce,
This Thursday meeting.
Perlac,
Nothing new. We have a meeting at the last Tuesday of the month, and we gotta do minutes for one more time, and then we have elections in April, so.
and that's the end of committee updates. Anything else from the board?
Could I at least, so we're regarding like one of our nonprofits, the Transport Central, and we're looking at funding and agreeing or making agreements with the university to have like a fixed route transportation thing around, at least around town. And the organizers of Transport Central, it's Patsy Kendall and Doug Grant. Patsy was certain that there was a map in the office when I inherited the office, and I thought I found it, but I really can't find it now. So Frank Miller was so nice to actually go to his office above Chase Street, and he grabbed the 2010 Transit Feasibility Study draft final report that contains maps, and this will be helpful in putting together different grant requests from TRICAP or North Country Council, because they're throwing monies at projects like this. The university is going forward with a request like over, I guess, $4 million or something from Senator Shaheen, who's throwing out monies for project for energy, alternative energy projects, and they're putting up theoretically different solar arrays as well as charging stations around town, and purchasing electric vehicles for transportation, but I believe to accommodate our needs. So I think things are moving forward. So
That's interesting.
yeah, it's kind of fun.
Yeah. Anything from the public?
The public has no comments, other than it was an excellent meeting.
Thanks, Frank.
Thank you.
I don't see anybody other than Neil and us online. We do have some non-public items to discuss.
I make a motion we go into non-public in accordance with RSA 91-A semicolon 3, comma, Roman numeral 2, I guess A through E.
Yeah,
Please.
all of them, because we're not sure.
Still, right.
Second.
Mary Ann,
Aye.
Neil,
Aye.
Zach, I, Bill,
Aye.
that'll do it.